it is going to be complete and total chaos. That looks sick. What happened? You know she wants to click. Ooh, yeah, baby. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can try to run a different throttle because we got the Idaho. So, I mean, if you want to put cars, having a bicycle for a while. Let's get back to the All right, so that was the dude that bought the first bike that I built for Josh. Military guy, crazy. I mean, you've seen him. He's fucking a foot taller than me, and he rides that Sportster. Pretty awesome. But anyways, the internal throttle. I said in a previous video that he had a problem with the internal throttle, and it was a different brand that I'm never going to use again. Again, I can't remember what brand it is, but whatever it is, I know the design. I'm not going to use it again. But basically, the internal throttle shit the bed. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of this internal throttle completely, slug the handlebar, sandblast them, slug the handlebars, and put a standard throttle with twin cables. The throttle actually got stuck on him a couple times while I was riding, which is a little dangerous. So yeah, we're going to go through and double check everything else because he's actually moving, I think he said to Iowa or Idaho, somewhere farther away. But yeah, it's kind of cool to have this bike here and then have Josh's new bike here. For those of you just joining and haven't watched this whole series, go ahead and go back and watch some of our previous episodes of me building this bike. We've had a few other things going on, but now we're getting back to this thing to finish up this chopper for today. Everything on this bike is completely done except for the oil tank, the fuel tank, and the seat. Wiring is completely done. We've got power, we've got brake, we've got fluid. We are ready to roll. But when I went to put the oil tank on though, a little bit of a situation occurred. Let me show you what we got going on. When I got this when I got this oil tank, not gas tank, when I got this oil tank chromed, I don't know, I don't know who to blame. It's kind of my fault. I guess it's kind of the chromer's fault, but basically I didn't have a cap on the fill port. I had caps on the pressure and the return and the vent and the drain, but I didn't put a cap on the fill port because I didn't have an extra one and I didn't want it to get chromed over or for it to get screwed up. Unfortunately, they didn't cap it off when they chromed it. So when they do chrome, they acid wash in part of the process, and that acid got mixed and got inside of the tank and created a little bit of a flash rust situation. I already blew all the big chunks out. It's paper thin, but I'm still a little nervous just to put oil in it and let it run like that. So what we're gonna do first, we're actually gonna put a handful of bolts in there and some water. We're gonna cap it off and we're gonna shake it up and try to knock any chunks loose. I'm hoping that that's all we have to do. If in fact it's still rusty in there and we still have some pieces that we can't get to, the next step is gonna be good old muriatic acid. This is used in pool cleaning. It's pretty hardcore stuff. It dissolves rust really fast. What we'll end up doing with that is put a little bit in there, put the bolts in, shake them around again and see if we can get all the rust out. We don't really have any other options. This bike's actually getting picked up tomorrow. So I don't have time to get another oil tank and to chrome it and all that other bullshit. We need to get this thing running. So let's see what happens. All right, we got our flash on now. So looking down in here, you can see a little bit of rust inside those corners. It's hard to get a good video, but yeah, we don't want that going through Josh's motor, so we're gonna have to get that stuff out of there. Muriatic acid is pretty hardcore shit, so we don't want to get it all over the new chrome. This is a fresh tank. That's why it's stressing me out so bad. I've been kind of stressed on it all morning. Can't wait for this bike to be done. I love it, but I'd love to watch it leave just as much. My wife is tired of my shit. My friends are tired of my shit. My dog's probably tired of my shit getting this thing done. It's all good. Actually, you know what? I might just skip to the muriatic acid. Fuck it, dude. We know that shit works. Oh, it pains my soul. Also, if you're doing this at home, make sure that you use steel hardware, because if you have to get it out, you're gonna wanna use a magnet or something, and stainless isn't magnetic. So make sure that you use something that can get picked up by a magnet. All right, I'm gonna get some gloves on. Oh, shit balls. Shit balls. Oof. This is some hardcore shit, dude. Oh, it smells fucking rancid. I should probably use a funnel. Oh, God, this is so sketchy. I don't know how much I'm supposed to put in, but... Oh, shit. It's smoking. That's probably enough. Oh, my God. That is some funky shit. I hope it's not fucking the funnel up. Okay. I wonder if this is gonna like fucking
take the O-ring off.
Well, I don't want it to spill on me.
It'll eat that O-ring.
I have an extra O-ring.
All right.
I'll be all right. Probably shouldn't put it on my clothes either. Jesus fucking.
Let's go outside. Why are we indoors?
I don't know. This is all bad choices. The real question is, what am I supposed to do with it after? Dump it on the ground? We won't show that for YouTube. Oh, that's a funky bitch. Yeah, I don't think that's good for the aluminum. Ugh.
What's that? Sizzling.
That's not good. I should probably wash that off. Alright, we're alright. There's probably people on here right now that are just like, this fucking dumb bastard. Rinse this guy out. This is a clusterfuck, buddy. Masking tape's doing fuck all. It looks fucking clean in there, though.
It does?
Yeah. We're gonna flush it, though. So I want to make sure that it's all out of this thing. Big old shout out to Grant over at Chopper Place. He's been doing this longer than I've been alive. And I called him up freaking out this morning when I found the rust. I said, yeah, I ran into this. He goes, oh yeah. Get you some muriatic acid. Try not to get it on the chrome. It's not gonna automatically ruin the chrome, but it could. And yeah, I think it worked. Let's see. Chrome didn't get eaten off. Let me grab some shit. I want water spots on our new chrome. No biggie. Okay. Now, moment of truth. All right, so we've got most of our rust out of this thing. There's a couple chunks in there. We're gonna do it a second time, but it looks a lot better than it did, that's for sure. Most of it's gone. There's a couple little flakes in here in the corners, but I think we're on the right path. All right, I think that's it. Okay, so it didn't get all the rust, but it got most of it, but I'm being a nervous Nelly, so I am going to tape the whole tank off so we don't get any splashes on there, and we're gonna run it back one more time. She's sizzling. Awesome. Still a little bit here and there, but if it didn't come off with that, it ain't gonna come off. Crisis averted. No damage. So while I let that oil tank dry out a little bit, start trying to figure out my lines for my oil pump. So basically, you have 3 lines coming from the motor. This is what feeds the oil pump. This is what returns back to the tank, and then you have the vent. This line is pressurized. This line goes from here up to your oil filter and then back to the motor. So we're gonna hook this guy up first. Fuel injection hose is usually a good use because it's rated for petroleum-based products. Clamperino. That ain't fucking going nowhere. Alright. Run our oil line here. Bottom of the tank. This is going to be your feed. This is going to be your drain. So do brass on these. So I've got 2 for 3/8, 1 for 1/4. So I'm gonna put this in the drain. This is like a little petcock, so that way when you go to drain the oil, at least it's a little bit easier. And then we're gonna use one of our 3/8 here. The return line is this guy, and our vent is that guy. So we pop these brass caps out.
Emotional, damn it!
Sometimes you can get lucky with an Allen using a Torx bit. Doesn't look like it's going to be this time though. Why did that strip? Ah, you bitch. God damn it. Okay, about to start hooking shit, dude. Anyways, back to work. When you screw that in, it opens up the drain. When you screw it out, close fit. Alright, let's try to get these out before I fucking strip another one. God damn it.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Not even gonna fuck around. God damn it. Fucking stressing me out, dude. All right. No more of that shit. Believe it or not, there's actually a right and a wrong way to go with Teflon tape. You want to go with the thread so it doesn't bunch up on you. I like to use this yellow stuff. This is gas line tape. It's a little bit sturdier than the white stuff. The blue stuff works good too. It's really thick, but the yellow stuff is my kind of my go-to. Don't want Teflon going up in the motor. This is our vent. Of course it hits the fucking frame, so we gotta pull the fucking thing back out. God damn it. Good thing I noticed that before I hooked up that other line, huh? It could have been bad. Slide her out. This is our return. Before we fire this thing up for the first time, we're gonna go to the store and I'm gonna buy some beer, because the first fire up, I'm gonna fucking shotgun one straight to the face, and you guys are gonna watch. If we ever get it to start. If I can ever get this fucking fitting to thread. There we go. On these fittings, you don't wanna crank the piss out of them. You want them tight, but you gotta be careful because your fitting is in sheet metal right here. So like, if you crank too hard, you can actually tweak and bend and distort the sheet metal. These are bungs that are welded into sheet metal. So, all right, so both of our fittings are in. Go ahead and pop this bad girl back in here. I don't plan on taking this oil tank back out anytime soon. Need a little bit of that guy.
Thought you cleaned up.
Then I made it messy again. Just trying to figure out what's going to be out of the way the best. It's probably just like that. And hopefully this guy will be enough to reach by the skin of our fucking teeth, man. Whew. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, now I gotta remember which one's which. Oh my god, you're gonna get WD-40 in the motor. It's okay. Ain't gonna hurt it. Barely enough, dude. Literally, this is like my last piece of 3/8. Like, I could have been really screwed. But the chopper gods smiled on me again. Just like they smiled on me and pushing this day. Oh, this deadline. This bike was supposed to be done like 3 days ago. And luckily, I didn't push the deadline back. Other people pushed the deadline back. And it doesn't have to be ready, at least for a picture, till day after tomorrow. Now personally, and some people may not like hearing this, but I think it's bullshit when people build a bike and get pictures taken of it and call it a done chopper when it doesn't fucking run. There are certain people out there that will build bikes for big shows that I have seen personally and know personally that have never fucking ran, and they probably never will. And that is not the type of bike that I like to build. We are all go with a little show around here. So anyways, that's my rant for the day. All right, oil lines are hooked up. We are grooving. So the next thing I'm gonna do is, well, first thing I'm gonna do is get the timing set on the motor. I'll show you these Dyna 2000i's are actually really simple to set up timing wise. We're going to take the spark plugs out of the motor. We're going to dry run it without firing it, hopefully until our oil pressure light goes away. And that way we know that we have oil pressure throughout the motor. Everything is wet because this motor's been sitting dry for a while, so we want to make sure we circulate oil through the motor. And then we'll slap the exhaust on, slap the plugs in, and see if she fires. Right now what we're going to do is set static timing. So you want to jack your bike up so you can spin the wheel, put it in second gear, and rotate it until you can see that timing mark dead center of the window. And that tells me that your front cylinder is at top dead center. Now, per the instructions on the Dyna 2000i, so when we turn this thing on, that's supposed to blink for a second, and then we're actually going to rotate this. See how close we are? While rotating the base plate in a clockwise direction where it just turns off. So right now, we're back. We're going to rotate it clockwise. Boom, right there. See? Turns on, turns off. So right where it's turning off is where we're going to set our static timing. And that should put us in the green. Now when we turn this thing on and off, it's going to blink just for a quarter second and shut back off. So that's how we know that we're good to go. That's nice and tight. That's nice and tight. Turn power on, blinks for a second. All right, so now we know that our timing is set at least like statically. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually remove the wire going to the hot side of my coil. Now the reason I'm going to do this, we don't need the coil firing for what we're going to do next, which is going to be getting oil flowing through the motor. So we don't want this coil to be sitting here trying to fire while we're doing that. It's not good to run it without being able to discharge the secondary side, and we don't have spark plugs in it right now. So pop this hot wire off. That is going to disconnect power. Okay, now we're going to fill our oil tank. S&S, proven performance. This thing doesn't have a dipstick. Might be able to fit a second cord in there right now. Alright, that's a lot more full. So now, make sure the bike's out of gear. That's first, that's neutral. Alright, so now we're going to turn this thing. See how we have this oil pressure light? Alright, so we ran it until we got oil pressure, which is good. So the way the light works, when the bike's not running, the light's on. That's good, we got oil pressure. Now we're going to take a look inside of our tank. Pull down quite a bit. So we will top her off. I'm probably going to run more oil through this thing, just because it's still got to fill up the lifters and all that stuff. Let it run for a little while. On the Sportsters, you only have two places where you put oil. On Big Twins, you have 3 holes. On Sportsters, you have 2. So the Sportster, stock Sportster, holds about 3 quarts in the oil tank, which is about what we're putting in it. And you put on earlier iron heads, it's a little bit different. There's actually a fill port, but yeah, you put a quart, and that quart shares transmission and the primary. So another way to make sure that your oil lines are hooked up correctly, I don't know if we're gonna be able to film this, but on this oil tank specifically, I can actually see the return port. So I'm gonna try. So that tells us that we got oil going through the whole motor. All right, let me get my plugs back in, get my spark plugs hooked back up, pop the air cleaner off. You know, like when you can't tell if you're excited or anxious? That's where I'm at. I'm like really excited, but I'm also really anxious. My stupid ass decided I wanted to put new flanges on after I'd already put the old flanges on. So I gotta pop these stupid clips off. I don't know if some of you guys remember when I was doing it on Blake's bike how much of a bitch they are. But so trying not to scratch up and fuck up our exhaust. Again, this ain't a show bike. It's a go bike. Bitch.
Oh, you make it look easy.
Yeah, well, that's years and years and years of fucking my hand up. Such a bitch. And honestly, they're not even really the right ones. Fuck. These are not the right exhaust gaskets. This exhaust needs the flat style gaskets, and I have the tapered ones, so yeah, I'm pretty fucking pissed. New ones are always a bitch to put on, man. Fucking bitch. We're gonna run no gasket for this first fire. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that brake line, because that is right next to our chain, and that's not gonna work. So I'll have to figure that out. This guy.
Every time a ratcheting wrench would be perfect.
Maybe somebody can send me a set of ratcheting wrenches. Hook a brother up. Okay. So we got our carriage bolt. Slide our exhaust into place. Located kind of where we want it. Slide that guy on the back. We're in there like swimwear, baby. My wife hates when I do that shit. She's a dental hygienist. She gets mad when I use my teeth for shit like an ape. But she's a dental hygienist, so she can fix them. Someone in her office can. All right. Only thing we got left to do now is hook up gas and see if she'll fire and wipe off the exhaust. Let's see what the hell happens. We go to fire it. Ow. Fuck, that hurt. All right, let's go get some gas and some beer. All right, we're back from the gas station. Gonna throw some gas in this thing. And hope she fires up. That should be okay for now. All right.
How you feeling, Yeti?
I'm fucking feeling a million different types of ways right now. Whew. So we know we got oil. We've got gas in it now. Now we're gonna open up the petcock and see what happens. Hear it. Come on, baby. Okay, we got gas. All right. Let's fucking do the damn thing. All right, kids. Ready for the first fire? Let's see what happens. He's a runner, baby! And now, brought to you by Bud Light. Hell yeah. That's the first fire. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt my stomach a little bit. Woo! Fuck. We got a fucking runner. Holy shit. Oh, that hurt my stomach. Oh, I swallowed that too quick. Oh. All right, so you may have heard that first fire up and thought, damn, that thing sounds kind of funky. Well, I did too, but I still shotgunned the beer because it was the first fire up. But after a little bit of investigation, I figured out on this Dyna 2000i ignition, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I didn't check the dip switch settings. So this thing was set to single fire mode when it should have been set to dual fire mode because we have a dual fire coil. And that's why it sounded like it was running on one cylinder. The other reason why it sounds kind of ticky and tacky is because I don't have any exhaust gaskets in there. I'm gonna pick some of those up tomorrow morning, but I just wanted to get it fired up and make sure we were running. So now it actually sounds like a Harley. So we're gonna have to shoot another one, but before I do that, listen to this thing run. Whenever you're shotgunning a beer, make sure you use a dirty ass screwdriver. Hell yeah, baby! That's how it's supposed to sound, goddammit. Been a lot of work on this thing. I am feeling a lot of different emotions, but the one that I am feeling the most is absolute bliss. I am hyped as fuck that this thing is a runner. We haven't taken it on a test ride yet, but it's a pretty simple bike. It's got one brake and two lights, so I think we'll be okay. that's it for tonight. This thing is a runner. Still need to go take it out on a test ride, make sure everything's safe. I gotta throw the seat on, throw exhaust gaskets on, but it is a running bike, and I cannot be more fucking pleased. If you like what you see, please subscribe and like this video. Also, if you want to see more up-to-date content, go on Instagram or TikTok at Yeti Machine Co. We just hit 700 subscribers the other day, which is awesome. I appreciate you guys for watching, and stay tuned for a lot more where that came from. What?
Your merch.
Oh, yeah, my merch. Do me a favor. If you want to support me, go to my website, www.yetimachineko.com. You can get a shirt like this and many more. Thanks, guys.